everybody, Crafting Journey here, that journey chick over on Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Got my coffee. I'll take it away from the microphone. Grab a cup of coffee, sit down. We're going to talk about a new trial today. Yes. While we do that, I'm going to be crocheting a scarf. I started this the other night. It's for my sister. I just saw the yarn and I said, I want to do something different. And here's the shawl so far. This is a pattern by Fiber Flux. If you want the pattern, just let me know and I'll link it to you. But look how pretty. It shimmers and shines and changes colors. And so I'll be working on that while we discuss the new case. Here is the yarn that I'm using. It's Shaw and a Ball Lion brand. The color is Lotus Blossom. Look, pinks and blues and greens, so fabulous. And this yarn is 61% cotton, 34% acrylic, 5% other fiber, and there are 481 yards. So I could make several shawls actually. That's gonna be actually I may need some of that. This may go. I don't know if I'm gonna use more than 400 yards on a shawl. It seems to be going kind of quickly. It is a 4-weight, but it really feels more like a 3, to be honest with you. It really does feel like a 3. I'm not getting a 4-weight out of that. And I will be using my tulip hook, size 5.5. I got so many tulip hooks last year for Christmas, and these are my favorite hooks. I just love them. So before we get to the show today, I always like to do mail. Yesterday from Poshy Pins. Have I told you I am in love with Poshy Pins? So it's similar to other Facebook groups that sell pens, where she drops the pens once a day. She'll drop 8 or 10 pens Monday through Thursday, and then you put your name in if you decide you like that pen and you want a chance to purchase it. So I want a chance to purchase this pen, and it came in the mail. Look, it ended up costing me $67, I think, because I didn't go fancy. I did go with a rose gold single placer, just because I thought it would be pretty with the pen, and just a regular 4-placer, because she does charge extra for the tips. I could actually go without the tips because I have so many tips here, but this was the base price of this was $55, and here's why. Look how gorgeous that is. This is an Easter peep. Look at that. Now, down at the bottom, you just have like your regular acrylic swirl. Up here are flowers. I don't know if you can see them. And then that little baby peep there. So when the Mystery Diamond Painting events starts and I go back to diamond painting, I will have... My favorite is 4-placer. That's why I said, hey, just throw in one of those plastic 4-placers, because I love my 4-placers. So I'll be using that. The other thing that came in the mail last week, and I didn't really show it off because, I was going on a rant last week about this event, but I did get a Ticket to Ride pen. Now, these you can't purchase. This was an auction that we had during the event. The money raised went to charity. And I will say thank you to my friend A.K. Rose, who won this on the charity auction by donating a substantial size donation to the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital in Miami. And she gifted it to me. And it's the red, white, and blue is because we went to France. And their color of their flag in France is red, white, and blue. So... Okay, now I did make some purchases myself for my watercolor journey. One thing I purchased was this. It's called Watercolor Success in 4 Easy Steps. So she has a lot. What I liked about this book is she talks about beginning watercolor, and then she has all these fabulous things to choose from. For example, fruits and vegetables. Then she has, let's see if I can turn the page upside down. Can she do it? Can she do it? Foods. Look at the donuts and the cheesecake and the hamburger. Then she has plants and flowers. And what else? What else? What else? Insects, animals. Look at the panda bear. And just miscellaneous items. Look at, there's a Christmas tree, a Christmas present, a wreath. I love the top. Remember when we used to have tops like that? They're metal now, because you know we would take them and beat our siblings with them. Anyway, I did. I was a mean sibling. I was the oldest. Look at the high heel. So you just pick one of these that you want to paint, and then you go to the back and you find what it is you want to paint. You know, if you want to paint the penguin, then it'll show you on the bottom which colorways you need, which of the palette, you know, colors out of the palette that you need. And then there's instructions. And you can actually take this and place it over a light pad onto your paper and try to go with it that way. Cute as all get out, isn't it? So I thought this would give me a lot of practice. Then I could not pass this up. You guys are going to die. Are you ready for this? Harry Potter watercolor magic. So it's a very similar concept for what I just showed you. So each page, there's instructions in the front for each project. It'll show you the color palette that you need. It has instructions all for this thing. So it gives you all the instructions for every project. Look at the bus. But in the back, it gives you, let me see if I can get it on camera, the actual thing that you're painting. So like I said, you could put this over a light pad and then trace it onto your paper. I think you could. I'm going to try it. I haven't tried that out. Otherwise, you could just tear this paper out, and because this is all watercolor paper, and then give it a try on here. However, I kind of like to save this and try, you know, in case I want to do it more than one time. So I'm going to figure out if I could trace this over my light pad. But look, Harry Potter. These were both obtained on Amazon and not terribly expensive. No. Then one more thing I wanted to show you. Friend mail. I had Crashly's Crafts on my show on Sunday. Not this Sunday, the Sunday before, where she gave away a bunch of items. She did not actually give those away. I purchased them for a giveaway. So I purchased several items to be given away from her Etsy shop, and she actually sent me a gift. Look at these cover minders. Now there's sewing cover minders, and one is already missing because I'm using it. But there's a dress form. There's a dress form, a sewing machine, and the other two had sayings on them. This one says, "Oh, so happy." Yay! I'm always happy. And she and her hubby, Kerwin, are any day now coming out with this new wax. And she sent me a sample to try out. So look for that. That wax will be coming out very soon. And I understand that she will be going live now on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. So starting tonight, so check out her channel. So what national day is it, guys? It is National Kids and Pets Day. This is the day, April 26th, to raise awareness of the importance of picking the right pet for the right child. Not everyone is suited for each other. You have to remember that. The day also celebrates the bonds children and pets can share and a way to remember safety where our pets and children are concerned. There are many benefits to having a pet in a child's life, from fostering natural, nurturing abilities to developing responsibilities. Pets have a lifelong impact on a child's development. I mean, do you remember, like, it's your night to feed the dog? No, it's your night to feed the dog. I did it last night, with your siblings. You have to walk the dog. I walked him last time. It's your turn to walk. Okay. Yeah. You go pick up. No, you go pick up the poop. No, you go. Teaches you to pass the buck. Yeah. It's also important to remember that small children, as well as pets, may not know their limitations and should not be left alone with each other. They should always be supervised to prevent injury to both the child and the animal. They take cute videos to put up on TikTok or Facebook, but don't leave them alone together. I've seen some videos that are absolutely adorable, and the first thought I think in my head is, please don't leave them alone together, because that dog's going to jump on that baby and, I don't know. So, okay. National Kids and Pets Day. All right. We have put this off long enough. Let's talk crafting and crime daily. I didn't push the magic button. I haven't pushed that button in so long. I promise tomorrow I'll push the button. How about that? So, this is an interesting trial. It's actually a retrial. They did this trial back in November of last year, and the jury was deadlocked at 11-1. Can you believe it? One juror just refused to change his verdict. He wanted not guilty, and he wasn't going to change his mind. So they had to declare a mistrial, and then the prosecutor had to decide whether he wanted to try the case again, and he did. And let me tell you a little bit of background on this case and why he's trying this case again. The defendant's name is Billy Chamiremere. He was born on December 8th, 1972, which I believe would make him 48? 48? 58? 58? I don't know. My math is terrible. 58? You guys tell me. I don't do math. But in any case, he's born in Kenya and son of a village chief. I'm trying to think where I'm at. Oh, okay. I had to think about this pattern here. Son of a village chief, came over here, lives in the Dallas area. Pretty much a clean criminal record, except for a DUI. Not really much on his criminal record. But until March of 2018, when he was arrested for smothering this woman who actually survived. This was the woman that was wearing the gorgeous little shawl. So he has been indicted on 18 murders of elderly women, and what he does is he poses as, I'm trying to remember the pattern. I haven't worked on it in a while. Okay. He poses as a healthcare worker or a maintenance worker, and then and this is all allegedly, like, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? So he allegedly poses as a healthcare worker or a maintenance person, and then he goes into these senior communities, either assisted living or just some that are just designated as senior communities, and he gets the elderly women to open their door, by posing, and then he proceeds to smother them with a pillow. Now, like I said, the one lady, she survived being smothered. I don't know how. What happened was she opened her door, and she said immediately she knew, like, oh my God, because she took the stand yesterday in the new trial. Let me don't get ahead of myself. All right, okay, let's go back. So all of this occurred in the Dallas suburbs, in Texas. Yay, go Texas! So she is going on about her day. She's gotten dressed. She was, getting ready to go to the computer room, or place where they had a computer, so she could check her email and send an email to her daughter. Now, she had like three daughters, I think, that lived in the Midwest, and two sons that lived near her in Dallas. So she heard a knock on the door. So she, as soon as she goes to open the door, she realizes, oh, I probably should not have done that. So she opens the door, and she sees a guy, and all she could remember, she could not remember whether he was black, white, short, tall, all she could remember is he had on green gloves. All I could see were these green gloves. This poor thing, she was scared to death. So he proceeds to take a couch pillow and smother her. He takes her into the bedroom, tells her to lie down, takes a pillow, and starts smothering her. Now, some reports say it's a couch pillow, some say it was her bedroom pillow, but she passes out. So I guess he thought at the point she passed out that she was dead, but she wasn't. She had a pacemaker that continued to pace her heart, so she was still alive. And when her friends that she was supposed to meet up with came to check on her, and luckily they had they knew that she was still breathing but unresponsive, so they called 911. We got to listen to the 911 tape yesterday, and paramedics were able to revive her, and she was fine after that. She died from unrelated causes. Her testimony yesterday was by way of a deposition that she gave several years ago. Because, like I said, he was arrested for this particular crime in 2018, and so she died in the interim, but they were able to get her testimony through a deposition. So I don't believe she testified. She was alive at the other trial, too. She was 90-something years old when she gave the deposition testimony. And she was just as cute as she could be. I think I've said that before. Her son was sitting beside her. He was off camera, but sometimes she would turn to him, and she was very, very bright, not suffering from memory problems in the least, and very intelligent and very articulate. But every now and then she would forget something, and she'd look at her son and to try to just get some affirmation that what she was saying was correct. He'd be like, I can't testify, Mom. It was so cute. It really was. So yesterday, Monday, was to start the retrial. And he's only being tried for one of the 18 murders, and that's Lacey Lou. Anyway, this woman who did not survive, she actually was murdered the night before. Was it the night before? No, there was a murder the night before. There's so many murders here. There was a murder the night before, like in the same complex as the woman that survived. But then there was a murder afterwards as well. Yes, that's how they caught him. Okay. So what he would do is he would go into these apartments of these women after he smothered them, and he would steal all their jewelry, take their jewelry boxes, just physically take their jewelry boxes, or take whatever jewelry they had if they didn't have a jewelry box. And this is how he got caught ultimately. So yesterday we have the retrial starting, And lo and behold, the first thing they do is they present witnesses outside the presence of the jury, because apparently there's a evidentiary matter on whether one of the jewelry boxes was legally obtained. I don't know what the technicality is. It was found in a dumpster, and there's some issue with it. So they heard testimony of the people that the law enforcement people that found it, and I didn't follow the whole thing because we're all waiting. The judge had said we are waiting for one juror. He's late. So this was like around 9 a.m. and we're all chit-chatting in the law and crime chat, and nothing's happening. Finally, they finished their hearing. I don't know what the outcome was. They finished their hearing, and she says, he's still not here. We're going to send people out. We're going to send law enforcement out to find him. So we're in recess until we find this juror. Now you're going to say, how come they just didn't ditch him and go with an alternate? Well, jury selection is so complicated, it really is, that, they know who this exact juror is. And I'm sure that the judge gave them the choice. Do you want me to replace him with an alternate? And they probably went back to all their notes from jury duty to figure out who was this guy that didn't show up today. Was he for our side? Was he against? Did we think he's going to be favorable for us? Do we not like the alternate? There's a lot of factors that go into this. So my guess is that the defendant probably liked this guy and did not want to see him taken off the jury. So they were in agreement not to replace him with an alternate. So we went into recess, and then 10 o'clock comes, 11 o'clock comes, 12 o'clock comes, and I think it was right around 1 o'clock before they resume trial, opening statements. And apparently this juror forgot he had jury duty. Now, I'm sorry. There's a lot of things I'm going to forget, but the fact that on Friday I was picked to be on a jury for a serial killer, and I'm not sure that they knew that, but they were certainly aware that this was a murder case. And, hey, I got picked to be on the jury of a murder case that starts Monday morning. Like, how does that escape your memory? Seriously. I don't get it. So they went and got him from where he works and started the trial. And opening statements were really, really brief. I mean, I've very, very brief opening statements. I'm not sure why that was. I don't even know if the defense gave an opening statement. They have the option not to. So the prosecution gives their opening statement really, really brief. He broke into this woman's apartment. What happened in this case was they found some jewelry in the same complex, I believe, as the woman that survived. They found some jewelry on the ground, and near this jewelry box, they found jewelry in a dumpster. And they identified, and it'll come out during the trial, so they identified that this jewelry belonged to a particular woman. When they go to check on the woman, she's dead. And apparently she had just died, like within the hour she had died. And that's the woman who he's on trial for during this particular case. Now, I don't know if they're going to try him for all of the other murders. I don't know. But an interesting fact also was in the trial that was in November, the family had been excluded from the courtroom. All these families who now are all bonded together, they had been excluded from the courtroom because of COVID. Well, they are now allowed in the courtroom. So they are now allowed to watch the proceedings, which I think will help in their healing process. But the judge did make a point of saying, I would prefer that everyone, since the courtroom is going to be crowded, wear a mask. She herself had on one of those shields, which, as a healthcare worker, I can tell you something. That shield is protecting you from nothing, and nor is it protecting anybody else. So I don't know why you're wearing the shield, Your Honor. The defendant was wearing the shield as well. Really crazy. So we heard the opening statements. Then we hear testimony from the 911 operator and the call that came in when this woman was found unconscious in her apartment by her friend that she had set up a date with, a lunch date. And so there was her and two other women, and they all came together and they found her unconscious, called 911, told the operator, yes, she's still breathing. The operator does what they call this breathing test, just to make sure that, what they're seeing is correct, that she really is still breathing. And she said, every time they take a breath, tell me, say yes. And so every time the woman would take a breath, she would say yes. So it was clear after a minute or so that, yes, she's still breathing. So they said, well, the ambulance is on the way, and they were able to resuscitate this woman. She said she woke up from being unconscious, and the first thing she remembers was being on a gurney outside her bedroom door. So she was still in her apartment when she regained consciousness. And she really does not remember anything else about the attack except the green gloves. And she did notice pretty much right away, that there was the jewelry on her hands, the diamond rings on her hands, including an engagement ring and a wedding ring, were gone. So sad. Poor woman. So that is where we're at. There was testimony after her deposition was shown that I did not get to, but I will get to that today, and I will catch you up. Yep. Isn't this pretty? Oh my goodness. This day in history. John Wilkes Booth in 1865. He was the person that assassinated President Lincoln in the movie theater. Remember that? Well, it wasn't a movie theater. In the theater. 12 days later, he is tracked down. Let's go get him, the mob. The mob tracks him down to his farm and kills him. He's assassinated. He was 26 years old, one of the most famous actors in the country, when he shot Lincoln during a performance at the Ford Theater in Washington, D.C. on April 14th. Booth was a Maryland native and a strong supporter of the Confederacy. As the war entered its final stages, Booth hatched a conspiracy to kidnap the president. He enlisted the aid of several associates, but the opportunity never presented itself. After the surrender of Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army at the courthouse in Virginia on April 19th, Booth changed his plan to simultaneously assassinate Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's vice president, and the Secretary of State, William Seward. Only Lincoln was actually killed, however. Seward was stabbed by Lewis Payne, but survived, while the man assigned to kill Johnson did not carry out his assignment. So he had other people that were going to kill the other people. Oh, this was a big old plot, wasn't it? Holy moly. After shooting Lincoln, Booth jumped to the stage below Lincoln's box seat, landed hard, breaking his leg before escaping to a waiting horse behind the theater. Many in the audience recognized Booth, so the army was soon hot on his trail. Yay, let's go get him. So I'm just thinking, the angry mob. 12 days later, they didn't do trials. Well, I think they did do trials back then, but sometimes they didn't use the trials. Sometimes it was trial by angry mob. Yeah. How did they kill him? Ooh, let's read on. He received aid from Confederate sympathizers. That's how he was able to get away for so long. Oh, he was hiding in a barn. He locked himself in a barn. So, what do you think they did? Set fire to the barn. Yeah, easy peasy. Guilty. So, that is Crafting and Crime today, guys. Thank you all for watching. So happy to be back with you. Happy to bring you my crafts. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down in the boxes below. Those comment boxes. Yeah, hit that like button. He made my coffee today, and it was pretty darn good, I must say. Consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And if you are, consider becoming a member of the channel. I love when you become a member of the channel, because then when I have a live, I can see your name pops out in that bright colors, and I can see who you are and that you're with me. And all right, guys, I've chit-chatted enough. Off for the rest of the day. Love you guys. Bye.